He had his right hand on the steering wheel and he got his left hand and whacked me in my face, and that was his goodbye. The whole right side of my face was swollen. I had a red eye. I used to beg for clothes all the time. I used to borrow his trainers. Like, I had nothing. I've just gotten home. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm so angry and I don't want to be angry. I want to be able to just tap into my emotions, talk to myself or vent to my friends and just get it off my chest. But for me to be out or for me to be in a presence like and I'm enjoying myself, for somebody from my past to say one thing to me and it get me to feel like how I feel right now, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out me, who I am, tap into the things that have happened to me in my past. And this is one thing that has never really, I've never really like sat down and just let it all out. If you lot watched my coming out video that I did nearly a year ago now, like I briefly spoke about an abusive relationship that I was in and how it affected me and how my life changed after that relationship and who I was as a person. For me to be sitting here 10 years later next to tears because this person has said something to me in passing and it triggered me that much. This was actually 10 years ago. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And I still feel this way. I still don't even feel like I've moved on from some of the things that I've been through. And I literally went out, and I normally don't go to places like this because it's like nostalgia. So if I never told you guys before, when I was 17 years old, I was in a relationship with a male. He was my first partner, he was my first boyfriend. And I feel like a lot of the time when we talk about abusive relationships, people want bloody pictures and black eyes. Yes, in this relationship there was physical harm done to me. However, the mental effect of it was way worse. I was 17 years of age. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. But at that time in my life, I just felt like I needed a companion. I felt like I needed somebody to look after me because I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to be around my family. I was hiding who I was. So I just wanted somebody I wanted somebody to love on me and just spoil me, basically. Look what God presented. And the funny thing about it, this relationship was not even that long. It wasn't even that long. And for it to still affect me now, I sit here and I just think, wow. The first couple months was great. The honeymoon stages was great. We're having fun. We're going out to eat. As I'm getting older and as I'm maturing very quickly, and I'm meeting new people. I'm meeting people that are from the same backgrounds as me, same kind of predicament that I'm in. I just started working, I'm earning my own money. Once I built my independence, that is where it just got worse and worse and worse. And I feel like a lot of the times when you're in a relationship with somebody, that person is so used to you needing them and you asking for things from them, being at their beck and call and giving them that attention and reassurance 24/7, being available 24/7. They get used to that, they get comfortable and they abuse it. And I got to a point where I felt like I want to do my own thing, or I want to make my own money, I want to buy my own clothes, or it just got worse. I was in like a caterpillar to butterfly phase where I just wanted to meet people like me. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to have loads of gay or LGBT friends, and I used to go out nearly 3 days in a week. When I first got that freedom from 16 going into 17, starting college, I wanted to be out every single day. And I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to make new friends. But for some reason, he hated it. He hated it. Every time he felt like I was giving like my friendship group a bit too much, he would make sure to knock me down a peg. Why are you hanging around with these people? These people look bummy, like why are you hanging around with them? Like making comments to make me feel like I'm going crazy, because it's like when I'm around my friends I feel great, I feel free, but because an older person and somebody that has more experience is giving me this kind of lecture, it's almost like I have to believe it because I have no clue what I'm doing. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, fuck, now I've got to cut off all my friends, or I have to distance myself from the people that make me the happiest. I would literally go through friendship groups upon friendship groups because I would make friends with people, and then as soon as it's going good, he'd come along make his comments and make me feel like I'm going insane, and then I distance myself from them. I wouldn't explain to them why, they'd be confused, and then it looks like I'm a bad person or I'm an evil person. He was all I knew. I stopped going to sixth form for a period of time. My attendance was on like 5%. It got to a point where I felt guilty for just not being around him at all. I felt like it didn't even matter if I was going to do something constructive or going to do something with a family member or going to see my grandma or something like that. I just felt like if I was out of his sight for 2 seconds, he's not going to be happy with me, or he's going to lecture me about how we haven't spent time together and it's only been a day. So I stopped going to college. I stopped seeing my family. I wouldn't even go out with my friends. The only time we would ever go clubbing or go out to eat was if he was next to me. We would argue about the stupidest things. It got to a point where we was arguing every single day about rubbish. There would be times where I would simply want to go to my friend's house. I would have to sneak and go and see my friends. I had to lie and say I was going to pick up clothes from my dad's and I was going to come back, and then I lied and said I fell asleep. These times I'm at my friend's house living my life, you know. I've turned my phone off to then when I got home and turned my phone back on, the text messages, the abusive text messages, where the F are you, you're a little hoe, like da 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 da, I can't trust you. And I don't even want to even say that I'm at my friend's house because he would find any little thing to complain about. Even though our relationship was just under a year, I felt like I matured a lot quickly in terms of the places to be and the places not to be. I also knew that if I wanted to upkeep the image that I had on the scene, I needed to work more, I needed to earn more money. And when I used to earn more money and started to buy my own clothes, it was almost like he was mad. It was almost like he was angry at me. And I used to think to myself, are you not happy that you don't have to spend no money on me, or you don't have to break your back to get me clothes? I used to beg for clothes all the time. How am I 17, 10 and 18 and I'm begging man for clothes, bruv? I used to beg for clothes all the time. I used to borrow his trainers. Like, I had nothing. I don't think people understand when I say I had nothing. He was my guardian, literally. He clothed me, he fed me. I almost felt like I was indebted to him because he brought me into his home. I met his mom, I met his grandma. Like, I started earning my own money, buying my own clothes, buying my own trainers, dressing better. My Instagram followers was growing. Like, I used to get loads of compliments. Like, and even that gratification from followers on Instagram also helped me to see how independent I was being, and not realizing that it was possible for me to figure things out on my own or do things on my own. It got worse when I was like, nah, I'm done. Like, I got bored. I'm not gonna lie, I'm 17 and I thought I wanted to be in a relationship, but this is not what I think a relationship should be. I got bored. I started talking to other people while I was in his house, while we was dating. I didn't care because it was like, I had to sneak because there was no way for me to get up and just leave. Because if I left, he would threaten me and say, oh, I'm gonna bang down your dad's door and tell your dad about you, and then you'll have nowhere to live. I remember one time I left his house. I was so fed up and done. I was done because we was arguing all the time. We was fighting all the time. He pushed me down the stairs, banged my head in the window. He made me take off the clothes that he gave me. I had to go home in some straggly up, string up bottoms, a vest and a little mini denim jacket that I had, the only thing that I owned, that I bought myself, and some fucking slippers, for me to go home and reach my door and my guy's sitting outside my house telling me, come outside, if you don't come outside I'm gonna bang down your door. All because I just wanted to move on. I didn't care if I was talking to people while we was dealing. I didn't care because I felt trapped. I couldn't be honest because when I was honest, you would want to fight me for it. It even got to a point where I used to break the things that I made for him because I used to paint. I can paint and I'm an artist. So I used to paint pictures of us and put it up around his room to like show my love for him, because there was nothing that, like, I felt like there was nothing else that I could do. So I would literally try everything. I would paint pictures of us. I'd buy little cards, or I'd do little gestures to make him feel like I actually love him, and I was always doing the most. These times this guy doesn't want me, but doesn't want me to be with anybody else. I came outside and sat in the car with him. I said, I have college today. I want to go back to, I want to start going back to college. I really wanted to actually start going back to how I was before we was in a relationship. He sat me in his car for about half an hour lecturing me about, oh, you think you can come into my life, come into my house, expose me to my mum, which I didn't. You brought me into your house. I never walked into your house. Expose me to my mum and think you're just gonna leave. And I'm just like, you really think I'm the reason why your parents might know about your sexuality when you've dated multiple people before me? I sat there and I thought, am I going mad? Is this real? I was not out about my sexuality. He dropped me off to college and his goodbye was a slap in my face. He had his right hand on the steering wheel and he got his left hand and whacked me in my face, and that was his goodbye. I walked into college with a big handprint on my face, a massive wale. You know when somebody slaps you hard and you have a wale on your face of the slap? The whole right side of my face was swollen. I had a red eye. I walked into my art class and everybody's like, are you alright? Are you alright? And I've had to pull my hoodie up over my face and just say I've got a cold. It got to a point for me where I was going through this little phase. I was going through this phase where it was like, do I really want to leave or do I want to try and figure it out? But even after me like leaving and moving on with other people, I went back again and he was happy to take me back because it was like, yeah, look, you went and done all your fuckery and look where you're back. It was like an ego trip for him. I went back and it was like playing cat and mouse. I'm the cat, he's the mouse. I'm now having to prove my love for him again because I was the one that left. I moved on with somebody too soon for me to have really cared about him. So I had to prove myself. That's when I got this tattoo on my back. That is when I got this tattoo on my back. I walked into a tattoo parlor in Shepherd's Bush. I'm 17. I wasn't really somebody that even liked tattoos. I wasn't even somebody that even thought I'd ever have a tattoo. I walked into the tattoo parlor. The man said, what are you having? I said, I want to get an N on my back. He asked me, who is it for? I lied and said, my best friend and my mum, because they do have the same initial. But it wasn't. I went and got the tattoo. I asked him to take a picture of it and then I sent it to my ex. And he was like, why did you do that for? And rightly so, why the fuck did I do that? Why would I tattoo somebody's initial on me that we're not even in a relationship? We're not even on good terms. That was my cry for help. Like, that was my cry for help. After that, he made it very clear he did not want nothing to do with me. And it was almost like I was going through attachment issues, Stockholm syndrome. I don't know, like I just couldn't let go. But I was forced to when I realized that, bro, I've done this big gesture, and not that he asked me to, but I've done this big gesture and you've you said, why did you get that? You didn't even say it was nice, nothing. You just looked at it, rubbed it and was like, oh, that's not my initial. And I was like, yes it is, yes it is. That forced me to say, do you know what? This is done. This is done. Like, and when I meet young people, I say to them all the time, like, be young, be free, find who you are. Don't rush and want to be an adult. Don't rush and want to be in big people things and big people business. You want to be in spaces that you're not even grown enough to be in. And when you're dealt a heavy hand, you don't know how to handle it because you've never experienced certain things before, or you shouldn't be experiencing certain things at that age. I went out last night and it was like being 17 again. And to be in that space, to see my ex, and for you to say, oh, I should punch you in your face right now. Like, and you knew that I heard you. If you don't fuck with me, keep 50 feet. Like, are you not in your mid-30s, pushing 40, and you're still behaving like this? Why are you still projecting that type of energy? Why are you still that person that I once knew? Why am I not allowed to talk about my truth? I hate that I'm this upset, but it's better for me to be upset, tap into how I feel, tap into my emotions, because if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy. 10 years ago, I was in a mentally, physically abusive relationship, and it changed me and changed who I am. My guard is always up. Yes, there are other factors like being a social media personality, having a following and having supporters. All of those things are part of how I like compose myself in public. But one of the main things as to why I am very guarded and very just to myself when I go out into public crowded spaces is this abusive relationship that I cannot seem to just wipe away from me. I don't want to think about my past. I don't want to think about the shit that I've been through that makes me upset. Sometimes I just want to take that all away for a day. Like, I came in and I just started crying. Because I'm just sitting there and I'm just thinking, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm actually like in a place where I'm happy. I'm actually happy for once. Like, I'm happy with my friendship group. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with my loved ones. And to be out in public and just for you to say one thing to me like that, and that just stayed like literally the whole night. Like, that was just what he said, just was ringing in my head. And then you're gonna turn around and tell me that you was not abusive, like, and then making me feel like I'm a liar. That hurts me. That fucking hurts. That fucking hurts me, man. That fucking hurts me, man. That fucking hurts me. And sometimes I have to just like I love where I'm at, but sometimes I feel like I have to talk to my mum all the time, or I have to talk to my friends that know me from like childhood to make me realize that I'm not going insane, like I'm not going mad, like why am I feeling this way, or why did this happen, or if I react I'm a bad guy. Like, I have to go through that all the time and it's so annoying.